Welcome to New Thought Center of Hawaii's summer solstice celebration and ceremony and ritual, done virtually for my very first time. I'm Dawn Barnett, and I have been doing this at New Thought every 3 months, every solstice and equinox since 1994. So this is year actually 25, because we started in the winter. This is very odd and unusual to be doing this at home. So I've asked my daughter and 2 of my friends to come and hold space with me so that we can all drum together and they can hold space energetically. So I'm not just doing this just for the camera. So the first thing we do is to smudge, and I encourage all of you at home to get out some sage and maybe put up an altar. You could turn off the video and just smudge yourself in the space to cleanse ourselves so that we can be more present with this ceremony. So we'll just start off with drumming for about 15 or 20 minutes. And I encourage you with your own drum or rattle to just join in for this period of time to help us come together energetically and vibrationally, and to reconnect with our spirit and our higher self. Sorry.
Spirits are vocal.
to just take a minute or two of silence before we begin. Okay, well, welcome everybody to our virtual summer solstice celebration. And all through the ages, the summer solstice has been honored by all Indigenous people because it is the longest day of the year and the shortest night. And after the solstices, the days get shorter and shorter, and the nights get longer and longer until the winter solstice, when it is then the longest night of the year. And so this is really a celebration of the fullness of everything, and the brightest sun, and the most healing time. So in the tradition that I do these teachings from Angela Sarian, she has an archetype that's assigned to each of the 4 directions, and we are moving from the visionary in the springtime into the healer in the south. Then in the fall equinox, we'll be dealing with the teacher in the west, and then the warrior in the north in the winter time. And so as we step into this new season, before I go ahead and to do that, let us stand up and invoke the 4 directions. As I'm wondering about if we need to change that while I stand. Does it? It's kind of, it's fine actually. I think my telephone.
Yours is totally fine.
Okay. So standing and facing the east. Oh, great spirits of the east, we call you, we invoke you. We humbly invoke your presence in this sacred circle as we come together virtually and in honor of this new season, in honor of the summer solstice. We want to call in all of the qualities of the east, the element of air and the winged creatures, and the visionary archetype within each of us, that part of us that's able to remember the face we had before we were born, remember our original dream and purpose, that part of us that is creative, spontaneous, and able to stand in the center of our sacred hoop, being authentic, being able to tell our truth without blame or judgment. We call on those winged creatures, the great eagle that flies high, that you help us to fly high and look down upon our lives from that higher perspective, that we may see what no longer serves us and prey upon those fears, that we may come fully into our authenticity in this life, bringing forward all those dreams we had before we came of what we were to do in this incarnation. And we call on the butterfly, who teaches us so much about transformation, and all the winged creatures and the the air element. We call you to be with us in our circle now. Aho.
Aho.
And making a quarter turn to the right, we face the south. Oh, great spirits of the south, we call you, we invite you, we humbly invoke your presence in this sacred circle. As the season changes from the time of spring to the time of summer, we call on all the qualities of the summertime and the south, the element of fire, the goddess Pele. We call you to come into the circle to help us to create a safe and sacred container for the celebration. Oh, help us to stand in the fires, burn away all that no longer serves us. We call on the desert creatures, like the coyote that tricks us, and the small mouse that teaches us to look what's right in front of us. And we call on the archetype of the healer within each of us, that aspect of ourselves that's able to pay attention to what has heart and meaning, and let our heart be what guides us in the choices that we make every day. That part of us that's able to give and receive love equally. That part of us that we check in with, the four-chambered heart. That we can ask ourselves, is our heart open, full, clear, and strong? And we call on the divine child within each of us that's able to see with eyes of wonder, awe, and curiosity. We ask all the qualities. We forgot the snake that sheds its skin in the desert, that we may also shed our skins, shed everything that no longer serves us. We call on all these desert creatures and all the qualities in the south and all the aspects of the healer within each of us, and Grandmother Pele, to come into our circle and be with us at this time. Aho. We're making a quarter turn. We face the west. Oh, great spirits of the west, we call you, we invite you, we humbly invoke your presence in the sacred circle as we gather to honor the new season. We call on all the qualities in the west, the element of water, Grandmother Ocean, all the oceans, seas, lakes, streams in the world, on this planet. We call all of you, including the lymph and the blood that is within our own systems. Great Grandmother Ocean, come, be with us in the sacred circle. Help us to go deep and be fluid and flexible. And we call on the archetype of the teacher within each of us, that part of us that's fully connected to our deep inner wisdom, that part of us that's able to have clarity and objectivity and is able to hold space for ourselves and for each other as the fair witness without judgment, being open to outcome but not attached. We call on all the water creatures, those beautiful dolphins and the amazing whales that are the record keepers for our planet, and all the fish that we see when we swim in these beautiful Hawaiian oceans, the turtles. We call on all the qualities of all of these creatures in the waters to come and be with us and help us to be connected. We also call on all of our ancestors, all those who have come before us, those who have done the big letting go in their death. We call on you to come and be with us here in the circle now, so that we may be reminded of how it is to let go and be open to outcome. Oh, great spirits in the west, we call you, come now. Aho. Aho. And making one more turn, facing the north. Oh, great spirits of the north, we call you, we invite you, we humbly invoke your presence here in this sacred circle as we come together in honor of the new season. Help us to create a safe and sacred container for this ceremony as we contact our higher self and be more present with what is in this amazing time. We call on all the qualities of the north, the element of earth. Oh, may we be like the standing people, the trees, firmly rooted in the earth and yet reaching for the heavens. And we call on all the four-legged creatures. The great buffalo that teaches us so much about the giveaway. And the wolves and the dogs that are so loyal and full of teachings. And the great bear that teaches us so much and with such fierceness. We call on the archetype within each of us, the archetype of the warrior within, that part of us that is choosing to be present and show up in each given moment, that part of us that clearly knows our own and others' boundaries and is able to honor and respect them, that's able to clearly say yes and say no. That part of us that's able to speak our truth with right timing, right content, and right placement. That's able to speak with spirit tongue in a way that empowers others and is never power over, but is fully connected to our own medicine and our own power. We call on all these qualities in the north, the standing people, the trees and the four-legged, and all the qualities of great Mother Earth. Please come into our circle now. Aho. And standing facing the circle with our hands above our heads. Oh, God, Goddess, all that is above. We call you. We ask for your presence here in this sacred circle. Please come and be with us as we gather to honor the summer solstice. Help us to open, to receive your guidance, that we may, expand and connect to Great Grandfather Sky, to all that is above, all the gods and all the goddesses, and all that universal consciousness. May we open to receive your guidance at this time. Come and be with us. Aho. And sitting back down and placing our hands upon the floor. Great Grandmother Earth, whose body we walk upon. We call you, we invite you, we humbly invoke your presence in this sacred circle. Please come and be with us as we create this safe and sacred container. As we gather one more time in honoring of the changing of the season, we ask you, Mother Earth, to come and be with us, to remind us to walk the beauty way, to walk gently upon you, to remember that all things come from you and all things return to you, that we remember to be gentle, to recycle, reuse, and reduce. Great Grandmother Earth, please come and be with us in our circle now. Aho. And lastly, with our hands upon our hearts, we call on that divine spark within each of us. That spark that's already fully connected to our vision, our love, our wisdom, and our power. that divine child within each of us. And we ask that part of us to come forth to the place of this circle, that we may remember to tell the truth without blame or judgment, to pay attention to what has heart and meaning, to let go of outcome, being open to any outcome, and to choose to be present, fully showing up in the now. Aho. And now at this time, what we normally do is to pass around the talking stick, and everyone gets to say their name, and we get to share their name. But since this is virtual, I'm going to suggest that we all do it at the same time. And generally we say, I'm going to do it once, and then we'll all do it together. I say, I am Dawn, a ray of the Great Spirit. And then we sing our names 3 times. This is Dawn, Dawn, Dawn. And so I'm going to